there it is. Good evening, Brian with Grand Roofing. If you've got a vent pipe of any sort like this, a B-vent flue pipe, a wood fireplace, chimney, double wall, triple wall, doesn't matter, and your goal is to remove it, or if you have a penetration to chimney, a vent pipe, anything, a box vent, this video is going to show how to remove, prep the shingles, plug a piece of wood, and put new shingles back in. I hope to do this as an uncut, unedited video. 30 minutes to an hour or so. I've got my nephew Brady here operating the camera, so hopefully it won't be such a moving around first-person view. On the way, if you could, give it a quick thumbs up. If you like this kind of content, let me know, comment down below. I'll wait for him to get off school, pay him to come help film for you guys to have it a little more pleasing to the eye. Last video I did was pretty good. It's doing real well. A couple of complaints that it's making people dizzy. Not really complaining, and then part of the time the view was down and I couldn't tell, so I apologize. So that's what I'm hoping he's going to be able to improve for you guys here. So basic tools you're going to need, your basic tools. If not, go to Harbor Freight and buy some cheap stuff, or go to Lowe's and Menards, Home Depot, doesn't matter. Simple flat bar to remove shingles, a hammer to pound them back in, or an AJC mag hatchet. If you want to get into the trade, do it. You're going to need something like that. It's a lifesaver, time saver. Anything bigger, you got pancake compressors, hoses, nailers and stuff. By the way, somebody commented recently about a battery operated coil nailer. I'm going to check into that and try that. I don't know if it's like a pass load where it uses a battery to generate a spark and operate the gun, but uses gas to drive nails. I don't know. I'll try to look up some. It's DeWalt and Makita, I think, or Milwaukee maybe, or the two brands. But we're going to get into it so I don't waste more time. And I got tar on me already. Man. So goal is to get this shingle out because it's cut back here. So we're going to take out at least this. To do so, we need to get the nails here moved, split this free, get those nails, and then whatever width of the pattern. The homeowner did send me a picture inside. There's like a box mounts where they repair sister to a Raptor, so it can be a small plug. The video I did a few days ago was larger, and I put 2x4s as nailers. I don't think we're gonna have to do that because the spot should be a lot smaller. Again, Brady, be careful of the edge here. So we're gonna get into this. I really want to try to get the timeline that I'm saying of probably 30 minutes to an hour or so. When I came here to look at this last week, I think it was, I told him I'd try to get this worked in, weather permitting, pretty fast, but I did a quick test. As usual, most of the repair stuff I quote, I try to see if it splits apart easy. If you're going to be doing a lot of stuff as a contractor, you want to make sure stuff splits apart before you really get into quoting. So it's a little more aggressive of a seal now than it was. Because it's close to the edge, you can just take all this out instead of piecing pieces in. We might do that on the gable end out there. I haven't really decided till we get into it. Once we get these loose, we're going to then dig in to get the pipe taken out. Also, Brady, if there's anything I need close-up detail, I'll wait you to come on in, okay?
All right.
It should be pretty good until there's like something I need to get out or something I see. The hardest part is just getting the first set out. Once you get the first shingle out, it goes pretty quick and easy from there. Go ahead and come down a lot closer. I want to see, because I don't know that I've ever had the ability to touch the screen so you can see it light up and then come in close so you can see what I'm looking at here. These nails here, what we're trying to get. So what I try to do with a flat bar, get under the shingle here. Can you get in here and see that? I'm trying to basically drive the flat bar up to that, wiggle it, get under it, and just pop it up. Then from the top side, or sometimes they pull through, which is fine, you just want to get that nail out. Just do that so you get all your shingles removed. Once you get to the point you're actually taking the shingle out, it's fine to just destroy it. Put new shingles in. And prep as you go. It's a lot easier in every square surface you're working on to just prep it and make sure there's nothing hidden under there that's going to cause a damage to your repair work going forward in the future days, months, years, that you don't have a problem. So on the inside, whenever I quote stuff like this, I make it very clear. I comment in the description area of my estimates what we're doing, very detailed. And if you want to do more than, that's fine. Don't ever do less than. But as far as the pipe goes, we don't get into anything below the roof deck attic area. Like, we'll take this out in the attic line. Let it go down to the ceiling. Homeowner knows they're going to address that, take care of that, or have something to do. We don't ever do this. Like, I will work. I'm not saying that you can't, but just make it clear tools here, knives. Just cut this stuff back so we can get into the flashing flange. Chimney nailed the piss out of this. Forgot to bring the magnet up too. I wasn't sure if I was going to get into this today. It's kind of late. It is December 16th, Monday, December 16th at like 4:30ish. It's been a real rainy, drizzly day today, but the temperatures are a lot better. So when Matthew got out of school, I'm like, hey, come on, let's go do something. So he was okay with it. We're going to shoot one. As far as the shingles that I'm putting back in, it's duration. Estate gray color is going to be the closest to this. It looks dark. One, it's faded and aged a bit. Two, it's wet, so it usually looks darker. Another note on that, in the description, you can always say that there could be a coloration issue. It may not match perfectly, age, fading, whatever. You just want to set their expectations that, yeah, you're probably going to see a patch in this. If you don't, then they say something, it could lead to an issue down the road. Just detail. And you're estimating. Watch any loose pieces of shingle here too, so you don't go sliding off this, okay, Brad? And usual, like I said in the other repair videos, all this I'll clean up later. I'll get the big pieces, I'll use a magnet that's in my truck to get the nails. Right now I'm just shoving them down out of the way so I'm not going to grind them into the roof. Alright, back up here, as long as we can get up, oh, there's the flashing flames right there, so that's good. Probably won't need to go any higher than this. What this is I believe a triple wall pipe that goes down through this bi-level to a wood burning stove in there, and they're wanting to remove it. So that's the whole purpose of getting this out. The other thing, if you're going to be taking something out, I really strongly encourage, if you're a contractor, before you okay to do something, you visually go in and check yourself and verify, because true story, just last year, 2023, I had somebody I gave an estimate for. I actually did a YouTube video there. Months later, I get a call that this guy had another contractor do the roof. They told him to take something out. They didn't realize there was still a boiler going to it. And later that night, the boiler kicked on, and they smelled smoke in their house. So you could do something pretty stupid and have a uh-oh if you're not paying attention. So visually make sure. In this case, it's coming out completely. So that's what we're here doing. Probably a good time to point out safety as well, or just a brief note on safety. If you don't feel comfortable getting up there, and you don't feel comfortable that you can do the job without getting hurt, then don't do it. It's really not worth saving a few bucks and either killing yourself, getting paralyzed, physically screwed up for the rest of your life. The reason I do these is for people to save money and learn how to do it on their own, but you need to be comfortable doing the job and not getting hurt. I've done this 23, 24 years now, and the worst injury I ever had was cutting an edge on a windy day, and granules blew into my eye. I had to go to Med Express or somewhere urgent care to get my eye flushed and put a dye in it. Really not bad, but I've been with guys that have literally fallen off roofs and broken bones. So it can happen to anyone. It's also a good time to point out too, I know I'm going to get the comments, where's my harness at? I do what I feel comfortable doing. It's my life, not yours, for those keyboard warriors who want to comment down below. Yeah, I encourage you to, but I'm not making you to or tell you to. We are almost to the point where I can yank this pipe and this flashing up out of here. Touch on. There's been a lot of comments coming in on these repair style videos, which is great. I like the comments and the replies you guys reply back saying how it's helped you, where you're watching from, things like that. Every now and then I do get comments though about why did I let something go, or why did I leave something or not address something? When you're doing repair work, you're doing that. You're doing repair. I'm working on this isolated area. It gets to the point we're gonna have to draw the line somewhere with something and be like, okay, I'm not gonna go any further because it might turn into the whole roof if you keep going like that. If we're replacing the roof, yes, we're gonna address those issues, but repair work, you've got to draw a line somewhere. So, and the reason I want to bring that up is the last video I shot just a couple days ago of the leak in the front side of a garage area. It was a rafter that had a little soft spot in it, and I was going to nail a nailer on there and sister it to it, but the way that plug was that I put in there, I ended up bringing 2x4 nailers across, which is totally sturdy. Down the road when this roof gets replaced, they can address all that dent. It was a repair. That's what I wanted to point out. We're going to cut this rain collar off here real quick. I don't have a tool on me. We're just going to cut it. This is all trash. I'll just kind of free up the pipe and this flashing here. I'm going to try to salvage these. They should be able to unscrew and twist to get off. That way, if they or somebody want to use it. I think he was just going to trash it. I asked if I could take it. The wood burning stove, I might actually not use the flashing or do that because obviously I'm cutting it and destroying it. But the wood burning stove potentially at my shop when I want to work out there all day in the area I don't have heated. So there's a simple way of getting this out of here. Just cut it. Use some good snips and cut the thing. Be careful, I don't have gloves. It can kind of lay you open real quick. You gotta get leverage in there to get up. There we go. It's that crimp seam right there. When they manufacture this, there's actually several pieces that crimp up under there. Bend it up out of the way. There's probably a nail still stuck in the backside. We'll get that addressed here in a minute. So you can see the wood frame here, right here. There's one down on the bottom, one on the top. There's usually like a 2-inch clearance to code for mini combustible, especially with this being a triple wall hot wood burning stove, which is good. There's no deck, there's no wood there. But point being is there's a solid frame to put a little plug in. And I did throw some 2x4s if I need to add something. What's the time on that clock say, Brady? 13 minutes. Putting it back would go fast. It's just 13:40. Just a few more nails over the top flashing, and that's it. That whole piece is out now. Just gonna make sure we got the nails out from under here. Looks good. There's one piece. Actually, it's sealed it down, so we're gonna just split that finish right there. There it is. Just clean out your trash there. Make sure there's no nails sticking up. It's good. Now we should be able to take the skill saw and just rip this back and see if we can use that small plug or not. The other thing I want to do is just check on this. There's a section here and another 3-foot piece. If we can get it loose in there, we're good. I don't have a screwdriver on me. In a pinch, use a nail head. This breakie's free. Spin this off here. Hopefully they're not real big. That's a MacGyver move right there. My motto is, whatever the problem is, find a solution. Yeah, I could go down and just grab a screwdriver, but that really wasn't much. How many are there? 1, 2 more. Might actually go grab one more. This one's rusted out. Let's see if it just twists off out of there. I think the whole pipe is spinning.
Yeah.
If you're not going to be doing anything inside your house, Be careful you're not wiggling it, finagling it too much, but like I said, they're taking it all down and out. So it looks loose right down here. If you can see this next crimp seam, it's gonna look like this right here. I'm wanting to see what's going on with that and get that off. The pipe below it is pretty solid, steady. If I rotate it, wants to turn, which makes me, you know, believe there might be a screw through it. It's transferring that torque, that rotational torque into that lower pipe. But if I can just finagle it, wiggle it a little bit, pop those free, it might twist off. And it's starting to come up. Right here, it's the triple wall. So if you're installing a wood stove, make sure you're not just using a double wall. It really needs to be triple wall. If you look, here's your outer, center, inner. It's going to be able to handle the heat, and each one of those gives you just a little bit of insulation value so you don't burn your house down. You're on that edge there, Brady. It's about off here. There it is. You can see the fittings here. There were no screws in here. Just I didn't think there would be, because they'd have to go into the attic to actually screw them in. There's usually like a little detent right here where it has to shove in and twist over to get free, but over the years these can get gooked up or even rusty and seized up, so just by finagling it, working it back and forth, you can usually pop it free. This isn't damaged at all if you wanted to use it. Honestly, I'm going to just set it aside and verify they do. Well, I did kind of kink it here a little bit, but that's not going to hurt. If he's pretty much made it clear. If they want to just throw it away, get rid of it. But that's another thing, you want to be clear when you're quoting this stuff. The homeowner doesn't expect you to leave it. Here's another true story. I actually had somebody work at one of my properties, brand new water softener. You even on me, look like you're down a little bit. And I said, hey, install this new high efficient water filtration softener type for this really hard iron content. I go back out there and check it out, and the one I bought that was brand new prior to that was gone. Like, I never even installed it and used it. It was never turned on. I thought it was pretty clear, but just communicate that with your owners or with the homeowners. Unless you are a homeowner, then you know what you want to do already. Alright, I'm getting ready to get the skill saw. A couple pictures real quick. Again, somebody had commented about this and why I do that in the videos. Or enough evidence or whatever the case may be. The videos are for YouTube. It's not really for the actual homeowner. If they want to watch it, that's great and all. The point for the videos is they go to my customer resource management software, so the CRM software. Every photo for every job is attached to that customer. That's why if you see me pull out my phone, I'm taking pictures to document it, time-stamped for that customer. So, alright, let's go saw. And I didn't forget my leaf blower today. I actually remember to grab that. That's the one I was talking about in the other video. I love that thing. It goes with me everywhere. Set your depth so you're not cutting too deep. This is 3/8 plywood. We're actually going to put it back with 7/16 OSB. It'd be fine. It's not going to be that much more raised up. It's loose. Might go down a little bit. Let's see where the sheet breaks because it's kind of soft right here. It's dark and I can't see. All I'm doing is just kind of pulling a reference measurement off the bottom or the top and seeing where these sheets may break. I'm guessing they ran a full sheet at the top in this range, so my next seam's pretty be right down here, just out of view. I'm gonna go down one more real quick and see. show you why. No, it goes down even further. It's because it's wet right here. It's a little soft. So what I'm going to do is cut this back. Cut this back. I believe it's a full rafter. No, it's not. The rafter is actually over here. This is nothing more than a nailer. With a nailer, here's the rafter. So if I cut down further, it's not going to hit anything here. That's going to be a pain. So probably pop this loose and come over farther. So we can have this nailer, looks like they sistered right here, come over to this fly rafter out here. It should be a rafter, there's not much of a fly rafter. You can hit it. This is going to give it a much better product, because I'm not just going to plug this little piece. If everything was solid, yes, but this is pretty rotten right here. Pretty soft, so we're going to fix that real quick. So to prep that, we're going to have to go over just a little farther. This kind of goes to what I was talking about earlier about repairing stuff. At some point you have to draw a line, but in this case that's actually rotten. I'm not going to leave that. And yeah, it's going to add a few more minutes, but really not too much more. So keyway right here where two shingles butt together. I'm going to cut this one here. Look and make sure there's no nails under that area. Shove flat bar under so you don't cut your shingle under it, and you can actually use your shingle as a guide so you don't cut anything under that doesn't need to get cut. One more, we're going to call that good. Oh, the weather's definitely a lot more nice.
Yeah, it's sunny out there.
Right there too. So here, come on down here, or give me the phone or the camera. I'll just shoot this part real quick and hand it back to you. So you want to make sure your pattern are all offset. There's no nails there. So I either need to cut this here or over here off of this. But you want to make sure you're not going to cut right over another line, you know, like right here. So that's good. But what I want to point out here is if I cut this here, see the nail that's kind of close to it? If I come over to here, about 5 inches over, you want to make sure there's no nail right there, which there is. So you can do it, you're just going to need to address that nail. You can either put a piece of flashing over it, you can put a piece of ice and water over it, you can caulk it. Best thing to do is just be very aware while you're doing this at the time you're doing it. I could cut it in between those two nails, kind of where that mat transfer is, but there's a weakened point there. Again, it gets into how much you want to do, where you're going to draw a line. So as long as you take the proper precaution for those nails, that should not be an issue. But we also need to make sure we're back enough to catch this rafter edge right here. And that water might continue over a little bit further, which it does. Some of that's just the thing's been leaking and getting over there. We're gonna see what's going on. I mean, honestly, this whole thing could be resheeted. It's 3/8 plywood. All right, 24 minutes. I'm gonna have to hurry. A few more minutes of prepping and then put it back. I'm gonna just cut this real quick and we're gonna see what's under here and how far down that actually goes. Okay, the wood gets better over here. What I'm looking for is how far down. If I go a little farther, is that seam of that sheet gonna be there? Actually, it's right here. Right there's the seam. Alright. We're gonna stop right here then. Chalk up runs in that bucket. I just brought a little bucket up with some stuff here. Hopefully the chalk is a little more dry today. Okay, that's all there is. No, it stops. Just kind of eyeballing this here, spacing that for the rafter. Oh, I'm gonna get lucky and I have to get into that edge. That's why I wanted to check before I start cutting here. If you look, there is, in a sense, a fly rafter here. I'll open this up and I'll show you what I'm talking about real quick. Dries. On this one here. Just a little bit. It wasn't quite deep enough, so it didn't cut through this other laminate here. Getting cold out. You need a hoodie or anything?
No, I'm fine.
So you can see right here what's coming out. So here's the rafter, and then the fly rafter is technically what's hanging out. It's flying. It's hanging out over the edge. That's the fly rafter. This is the exterior rafter for your siding on your gable to come up. So I'm able to rest it here, come over a little bit further. I thought it might actually go out to the fly rafter and I have to get into this metal. That's not the case in this one. Gosh, staples. So that's cool. I'm going to square this cut up a little bit, notch that out, come over on this. I'm just going to use this top shingle as a guide and start getting this put back. Put a nailer in here, I bet, to help hold this right here. I'm going to run down real quick and grab a nailer for this to help support that a little bit.
All right.
Get the piece of wood plug cut while I'm down there. So we're going to pause the video real quick. There's nothing going to be going on other than I'll probably tidy up a little bit, grab the magnet up here, get the piece of wood. So all I'm going to do is get a 2x4 cut for this right here to come in, get my piece of wood plug fit for over here. And all we're doing on that, if you can keep factory edges, the factory edge is great. So this is kind of a factory vertical piece going up. So we're going to pull our measurement from here, cutting on the left side. Doesn't matter how you measure, it's how you transfer it. So when I go down to my sheet down there, I'm going to have the sheet laying in front of me, crossing this direction. OSB's oriented strand board. We're going to pull from the left and get our top measurement over. Pull from the bottom, get our top measurement over, and we're going to get our height on that. We're going to cut that and bring it back up with a 2x4 nailer. We'll be right back. He's going to take a second to check the battery, make sure we're still going, and we're at 29 minutes. We're about halfway through. Get the wood put in, piece of ice down, put it back, probably 10 minutes, and we should be done. So I think we can still get this within an hour. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. I just went down, got the piece of wood cut, got my 2x4 nailer, got the framing gun, talked to the homeowner real quick as he came out. We're ready to actually put this back. So a couple things I want to point out. I don't think I talked about in the previous video. This is a different gun. The other one and I have a little bit of bad blood right now, a little hate relationship going on. But what I want to show you is the nails real fast. Come on, in a little closer here. So typically, there's going to be, for whatever gun you're using, something called ring shank or smooth shank. Then you're going to have like galvanized, hot dip, all that, whatever. These aren't going to be exposed. I don't need to get into that. What I want to point out is the ring shank portion of this video, or this nailer. If you can get close, it's a paper stick stick framing gun, paper tape, some are wire tape, wire weld, but the ring shank right here, these cost a little bit more, but in my opinion, they're honestly very worth it. The problem is a smooth shank, over time, they can warp and pop out. Ring shank, if you feel this, you might be able to hear it. You hear that with your nail running through this? They're made in the manufacturing process to have little rings on it, so when it drives into the wood, it has a whole hell of a lot more friction. They're not going to pop out. Honestly, when you're ripping nails, it's easier to drive them in than it is to pull them out with a ring shank. But putting decking down, it's nice. These are actually longer for the framing. I just want to point out the ring shank to that. And yeah, I switched guns for a couple reasons. The other one, it hit me here. It's starting to heal pretty good. It's still very numb on the bone right there. It is what it is, but yeah, I just figured I'd grab this one. The problem with this one I don't like is this piece of spring steel right here that pulls this back, keeps tension on here. It keeps popping out right here. On this Hitachi is the only complaint I don't like about the gun, the only complaint of the gun I have. That little piece right there pops off and is a pain in the ass to actually pull back up, and you're using a little point and a nail trying to get it back on there. Anyway, I like the gun. I just want to point that out, ring shank, and the fact of the Hitachi gun here. Alright, we're going to get this nailer put in, just like another video I did. I'm going to cut it snug and tight, get it drove down in here. This is only to help support the decking for this repair. We're going to split the difference onto this thinner 3/8 and to catch the nailing edge of this wide span of the wood I'm putting in. So I'm just going to drive it up so it's flush with your wood, your rafter, both ends. What I'm after is matching the height right here and right here. And then we're going to tow it into here. And we're going to shoot through here and lock that in. Any of the old area you cut, just put some nails in it. And again, I can't stress this fact enough, because a lot of people are like, oh, look at that hack. It's a repair. You could go all the way down and continue on. At some point, you're gonna have to draw a line. It'll last the length of the rip. The reason this was leaking is that flange was pulling up and water was hitting those nails and running back in. The leak being stopped will address that. It won't be an issue at all. And yes, my cuts are a little crooked. We're patching this in. Fits in okay. It's a little snug at the bottom here. And drop down. So there's the rafter, and then that fly rafter coming out. I'm trying to hit all that. Got that magnet again. Alright, we're going to switch over to the other coil nailer and get our ice ready. Get ready and put this back. Gasket back. I haven't had a chance to have a shop day to fix this, but I know it's going to leak a little bit. So in that other video I showed how to do this if your fitting is a little old wallered out. You're just using a piece of plastic from a wrapper bag, ice and water backing or whatever, and it just kind of makes it a little bit tighter of a seal to not leak. That's all we're after there. Nails, got a few left, we're good. Ice ready for a patch here. Gotta hurry because we're about to lose our daylight here. We've only got a couple more, well, maybe a week or so, and it's going to be the winter solstice, so the shortest day of the year. We don't have a lot of daylight this time of year here. Normally align this first in the summer, because as soon as you feel that it sticks, but holding like this is not a big deal. We're just going to cover over the outer edge here. What I like to do, little detail, cut that at a bit of an angle. With your ice and water, typically we'll put all the paper down and then our gable edge goes on top of it, and there's ribs in this ice and or this edge metal here, the gable end. That way if water does come in, it runs down that. In this case, by nipping it to 45, if it were to jump this little low profile rib, it's going to hit this again, surface tension, run down and out and not go under. If you have that point there, it could catch and run over. Just again, it's very little detail, little issues or little things like that that can set you above and beyond the competition. Going down low enough to cover any keyway issues. Tack this. And then we'll put a piece right there. Okay, we're going to go under that one right here. One nail right here I'm trying to get. Get this under everything so it's onto black paper from the old. One more little strip. Now on here, we're going to get under the pass of black paper. That way if there ever is an issue above, it's going to come down onto our ice and water. So just cutting a little bit of an angle, we're going to tuck under that, come on top of this here. Piece to get under. Kind of a pain to get it under there, but there we go. And take that one and nip the corner on that, just like I showed you here on this. And we're about ready to put it back. The picture is still rolling good? Mm-hmm. Alright, we're ready to put it back
Just
now.
hit 10 minutes.
What's that?
Just hit 10 minutes.
10 minutes? So probably about 38, 48, it was like 30 something, just called 40, 50 minutes or so? Right,
yeah.
Down here. So again, verify if you need to address anything, address it. Make sure you got your stuff nailed off, you're not forgetting anything. Always check the old shingles. Get your new stuff put in, lined up, carried it out with your keyway. Turn out your keyway, your reveal line, your buildup, which is nothing more than the part of the stagger and the laminate, which I'll show you close up in a second. I always try to anticipate where the next shingle is going to break. In this case, it's going to be over the edge, not a big deal. This one will, this one will, this one will be short. I'll show you that here in a minute. That's why if you see me not nailing, it's anticipating if I need to put a keyway in, that there's not going to be a nail in that area. That one's going to be a little bit of a reveal. Grab that caulking, the cheap tar sealer here to put in on some of these where the nails are. Where this is right here, it's what I want to use that for. On an edge, you can use a hook blade, cut it ahead of time. Use a straight blade, cut it ahead of time. Hook blades are good for cutting to the top of a shingle. Sharp straight blades from the back side. I'll show you that here in a scrap. So in this case, I like to use this as a guide and coming down. I will point out, be aware, there's no nails coming out of your fascia because you can catch your finger and slice it open, break a nail, it hurts. So just be aware, quick glimpse of that, be cautious. Use your sharp straight blade, just kind of come down at the edge. In the summer, these cut like butter, snap it. Sometimes they'll get caught on that paper, the bandage cloth, not a big deal, or a double laminate can be a little hard. You can also use a hook blade. I prefer using hook from the top. So if you're gonna use a hook, but you don't have that edge as a guide. If you're cutting a lot of them, I like to pre-cut it, and I'll show you that here in a minute, how I do that. Now I'm raising this up slightly because the way this roof lines up. This next one, oh, it's full too. Just real quick. I'm following the pattern. Some houses, and county specific, they hang them over. Their starter will be hanging over a little bit. Their shingles are cut. In this case, it's not. It's cut flush and smooth. So that's why I'm cutting it flush and smooth with that. Leaving a spot here. So when I put this in, it's one going to be close to that, and I don't like putting little bitty slivers in because there may not be a good area to nail that off to. So what we're going to do is just eyeball, no nails in this area, far enough over. We're going to score it right here. Careful not to cut through on a hot summer day, it's easy to do. That's a scrap piece. So the bandage didn't cut it all the way. Put this in. Grab another nail that's up here. Got an oozer. Now this piece can come out plenty far. Be aware of your next pattern going back. Set it where it's going to butt up so you know not to nail that shingle right there in that area. Again, it's a little detail. A lot of guys are like, oh, I've done this for years and it's never leaked. I promise you, over enough time, it will start wallering those out, rust them out, cause a problem. These scrap edge pieces, as long as they're big enough for this. Actually, that worked out pretty damn good. Sorry. Careful on cold days or how old the shingles are. There's the brittle test. This is just highly exaggerated. I want to show you real quick because I just hate when people, salesmen out there, alright? You're gonna have people on your roof, they'll be like, it's brittle, look at that shit, it's brittle, you need a new roof, your insurance is gonna cover it. Come on, quit being bitches. Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between a roofer and a salesman. Who do you want working on your roofer? A salesman or a roofer? Sorry, this is a pet peeve of mine. Actually, I'm gonna use this piece right here. I had somebody call recently, like, oh yeah, I had this guy over and he got my roof bought. Well, call your insurance company. If you got enough damage, they'll cover it. Sometimes they're a pain in the ass, and just tell the inspector to get a PA out there. On that last shingle, sometimes it wants to catch your paper or a nail. Just make sure it's clean and good, and then get that last piece set in. There's one last step. This is a common mistake I see a lot of people do. They shoot their nail in and they forget to finish off their work. You're gonna have to not forget to get up under here. Finish shooting this one off. Or you took those loose. This one's never been split, so it's fine. See, you can get in there and flex these enough. And here it is on a cold day in winter. Still get in here and flex this enough to do a proper repair without creasing the shingles. That's basically it. Last thing to do, other than clean down, which we don't need to show on camera, is the sealer. So any of your shingle work, especially the old shingles, you want to put a couple of dabs of the sealer under here so this can stick down. I'm not putting big lines, I'm just sliding it, caulking a small dab. Sliding it over, caulking a small dab. The most important area is any of the old shingles, because those are not going to seal down. I like to put them near the new nails. So, let me show you here. Camera. So where this nail is right there, that's pinned down to the deck. Putting a sealer on that or near that is going to be stuck to the shingle. That shingle's not going to move. Now, get this goop up under there real quick and finish this off. Sometimes this stuff has pressure and just wants to ooze. But anyways, now when that sets down, once this starts to dry out and heat up and seal down, that piece of sealer is stuck where that nail is stuck, and that's not going to lift. Same with these others. Now the new shingles, over time they will heat up. In a cold weather like this going into winter, I'm going to put just a couple of dabs to help seal it down quicker, because these aren't, well, I think that's where I put a sealer. Let's see. Yeah, see, they're not stick down. They're not going to stick. Now you get some heat up here. Right now it's cold out. It's I think today's 50, 55 degrees. That's why we're trying to get the repair work done. Just want to make sure anywhere you split a seal, you put a couple dabs of sealer down, press it down so it gets as flat as possible, so when it seals, it's in that position. Over time, these will seal, but anywhere you broke a seal strip on the old shingle is not going to stick down, but the new shingles will. Their bottom seal are going to heat up and stick, or if you're unsure, just put a couple dabs of sealer in it. Other thing I want to point out is the seal strip. I still have people commenting on these videos that they've got to peel this. I don't know. I cannot. Here, grab the camera. I want to like talk about this real brief. Good, you warm? You look like you're freezing.
No, my hands are just cold. Other than that, I'm fine.
So shingles come in the package. Actually, we're going to cut this little segment out and make a short video for them out of just this. We're going to actually just give an intro to this little short form. So if you're watching a long video, bear with me real quick. All right, we're going to talk about the nail strip on a shingle and the cellophane wrapper on the back of a shingle. Different shingle manufacturers are going to be stacked in a bundle, either all vertically and crisscross, whatever, however they're designed from the specific manufacturer you've got. The plastic cellophane strip does nothing more than to keep it from sticking to the seal on the shingle that you've got coming out of the bundle. So in that case, right here, see this? It keeps that from sticking in the package. You do not need to peel this off, and if you do, fine. It's not really going to hurt the shingle, but it hurts your ego and just waste a lot of time, honestly, because that gets covered up by the next shingle. All it's doing is now revealing the tar on the shingle to stick to what is going on. So like, for example, I think GAF might be one where the seal strip is on top. The plastic cellophane strip is going to be in the middle of the shingle, so when it's in its package, it's not going to stick to the shingle below it. That's all that's for. That's all the cellophane strip is for. Unless it comes off of the back and sticks to the tar, that's when you need to pull it off. But if it's doing that, chances are it's going to do it to all of them. It's a defective shingle. Send it back and get a new run or a new batch, because it should stay right there. That's all that's for. Hopefully that clears up a little confusion for you guys out there. All right, if you made it this long, I appreciate you watching the video. If you could give it a quick thumbs up, let me know down below where you're watching from, what kind of content you like, if you like 3D filming me, or if you don't mind the first person view, which I can shoot pretty much anytime it will work. We got to get busy, clean this up, and get out of here. December 16th, 2024. Until next time, be safe. We'll see you then.